Good afternoon. My name is Jim Conlan, and welcome to the latest episode of our entertainment show. As you know, in part three of our entertainment show each week, we premiere new movies or TV series which are debuting here in Ireland and the UK, and especially here in Ireland, with Irish eyes are smiling in terms of an Irish interest. And up for discussion this week is a new movie that's been out since April the 12th. It's been out since Wednesday here on our cinema screens here in Ireland, and most actually it's opened in most cinemas here tonight on a Friday night. Its first preview and airing here, because Friday night in Ireland tends to be cinema night here, and so we're delighted to be joined by one of the stars of this movie. But first of all, just a bit about the movie itself. It's called Half Sisters. It features an all-star cast including Sydney Winbush, Daniela Mason, Sammy Ratiers, and it's basically about two half sisters that bitterly hate each other, and they basically have to spend time in a trapped farmhouse during a storm as a couple of murderous intruders try and terrorize them to get after their sort of 1 million inheritance. And delighted to be joined by the star of one of the stars of the movie. She plays the character Isabel Lindman, the one and only Kristy Dawn Dinsmore. Kristy, first of all, Half Sisters, going down to rave sort of reviews all over the place in United States, Canada, out here in Ireland and the UK now at the moment. How excited are you for its release at the other side of the pond, dare I say?
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's great. I love that we got distribution for, the world. So that's awesome that it's coming out in all different places, and love that it's coming out in Dublin or Ireland because of, my past there. So living there. So that's great.
And Kristy, in terms of the concept of the show, I mentioned there it's about two sort of sisters. You might give us an oversight in terms of the sort of plot. I've seen the sort of trailer myself, but it's a fairly sort of short sort of trailer, so I'm intrigued. Is these sort of two sisters that come from a broken home, or are these sort of two sisters that miraculously needle in a haystack seem to find each other out of a bizarre situation?
Yeah, they're two half sisters, and they come from a broken home, and their grandmother takes care of them. And years later, they're estranged, and they have to come back to the farmhouse because their grandmother has passed away. And it's revealed that they have a $1 million inheritance check, but their grandmother is up to more than they both have bargained for, and kind of teach them lessons. So hence, the twists and turns, and the murderers coming in and all that kind of stuff. And, they kind of get they get more what they bargained for. So they have to kind of compete or work together in order to get the money that they deserve. So
I take it by looking from the trailer that there's a sudden sort of twist in this. Does it keep you sort of guessing? Is there sort of a certain hidden hook? Have you to try and play a detective yourself during the movie, dare I say, as a moviegoer?
yeah, I think that the script is there's lots of metaphors in the script, and I think it's really relevant to the time right now. And there's a good twist. There's a good plot in it for sure. I think director Devin was trying to just send a strong message out in terms of race and broken families and stereotypes and that kind of thing, and then kind of have like a campy sort of twist and fun to it, and add some horror into it, so yeah.
One thing that sort of struck me by watching the trailer, now I've watched the trailer about it, was the sort of the hostage sort of scenario in a type of rural area. And this is a common trait that happens in rural places, particularly in Ireland, where elderly people might have a bit of money and word goes sort of out, and sort of these sort of it maybe gets into the wrong hands in terms of this sort of misled information. And so it is a sort of, these sorts of scenarios do happen in real life as well, dare I say. It's not sort of fair fan fiction as well. There are certain people that maybe live in rural areas that might come into a bit of money that do get sort of targeted if the people feel that they don't have those protections or the sort of resources to defend themselves.
Totally. I think it alludes to that for sure. And again, then, more twists and turns. So, but I think it does touch on like some of those, it's basically what happens in the script is these guys come to the house and then, the girls are stuck in the situation. So they have to work together and actually, become sisters. So, and not just hate each other. So.
Yeah, and Kristy, what type of character is Isabel? I know looking from the trailer, it shows that Lisa has a bit of a violent streak to her in terms of
Right.
a criminal background. Is Isabel more the brains and the brawn? Is she a books type nerd type of girl, or what type is she?
She becomes an author, and she kind of uses her trauma from her childhood to become a high achieving person. So she becomes this accredited author, and she's more of a type A personality, and total polar opposites between Lisa and Isabel for sure.
Okay. And in terms of the horror element that comes with it, would you classify it more as a suspense sort of story rather than horror in terms of that? Is it more sort of thriller? Is it you mentioned that horror? I know these things can be frightening, but there's no real, dare I say, blood and gore throughout this movie, is there?
There's a little blood and gore. There's a little blood.
Okay.
I was asking for more blood on set, so I would agree with you. It's more of a thriller, not a horror film per se, like not a gory horror film. Yeah.
And Kristy, before we came on air, you mentioned about other projects that you have in the pipeline that might be coming our way here in Ireland and the UK for TV viewers. As you know, most TV stations in the UK, it's the one thing. Ireland and the UK, they have the old sort of same TV network. So you mentioned about a project there. You might be able to enlighten us a bit more that might be coming to our TV screens or movie screens.
Yeah, I was just on Magnum PI. I did a little guest star on that one, and then Creep Show. There's it's kind of like Are You Afraid of the Dark? I don't know if you ever grew up with that, but it's
a bit of like a Goosebumps, is it?
Kind of, yeah. It's another campy horror, and there's lots of blood and gore and guts in that one. I don't know. I love playing those things, so I get stuck doing, and I play crazy bride again, so which I was a crazy bride on another show too, so these things just keep following me. I'm not sure why, but
And do you prefer the horror genre over the sci-fi genre? Because obviously Canada is renowned for the sci-fi genre. You mentioned you're not far from Vancouver, and Vancouver is the home really of sci-fi when you think of great shows like Stargate, Battlestar Galactica, all those that came from Vancouver. So are you more, is the horror genre that interests you more rather than sci-fi?
I'm also writing, and those are two of my favorite subjects to write. So I think I'm just a typical Vancouverite because I love aliens, I love horror stuff, I love twists and turns, and like we were just talking about, and good thrillers and good psychological thrillers. So I love that stuff.
I suppose you can't grow up in Vancouver without loving sci-fi, or you'd be kicked out of the place, I imagine.
It's bound to happen, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. Kristy, also you mentioned about the time you sort of were living in Ireland around the Grand Canal, and you're a bit of a Dublin girl, dare I say. But talking to you, you didn't grab a bit of the accent, really. That bit hard.
Oh, I can if you want. If you want me to,
the Dub accent on you, no?
I love Dublin, and it's funny because I think I could do a better Irish accent now than I can English, which was always like before I moved there, I was like, I could never do an Irish accent. It sounds so hard to me. There's no way. And then you have to live in the place in order to get it. But I just went back and in January. I was in London over the holidays, and then I went to Dublin for my girlfriend's wedding, and she ironically did my hair on Vikings when I was on Vikings over there. So that's why I lived there. But all the things, all the isms were coming back to me, like deadly and, you know, straight croc and like, and all those things. I love it. So.
And did you hear about the Irish sports, like the GA, as they call it up there, the Gaelic,
Yeah.
the football,
Yeah.
the hurling? Yeah. Kristy, also, before I let you go, I suppose Half Sisters, maybe you might give our audience, our viewers, our listeners, for the final 30 seconds, why they should go out, hit their TV screens, their movie screens, watch Half Sisters, and what's in store for them, Kristy Dawn Dinsmore?
Yeah, I'm hoping that everyone enjoys it, and you go out and see it, and I think you'll have a good time in the theater. It's just another cult classic, basically. So I hope everyone enjoys.
On that note, from me, Jim Conlan, to you, Kristy Dawn Dinsmore, stay safe, take care, and do the next time when you come back to Ireland, do visit the West Coast this time, because there's more dialogues to be learned. And if you went up north, you'd have the Donegal one, which would be an awful lot harder, I'd say, for you to try and start to get your tongue around it. But for the moment, I know there's a bit more learning in Ireland for you yet to do. So we welcome you back, Kristy Dawn Dinsmore, with open arms. But for the moment, stay safe, take care. And for me, Jim Conlan, God bless.
Thank you.